different India. India which is willing to stand up, and India which will meet its national security challenges. So whether it is Uri or whether it is Balakot, today the forces that who have indulged in cross-border terrorism against us for decades, और जिसको हमने बर्दाश्त किया है, they now know this is a different India. This India will give them a reply. That is also. But that is not the only border where there is a challenge. There is also a challenge on the China border. आप सब लोग जानते हैं for last 3 years in violation of agreements, Chinese have brought large forces. Today, the Indian military is deployed at very great heights in very tough conditions out there. And I can tell you the difference is that our soldiers have full backing, they have the right equipment, they have the infrastructure, which of course more work has to be done because it has been neglected in the past. But this is a different India which will stand up for its interests, and the world will recognize that also. It is also a more independent India. This is an India where if we are put under pressure, if countries tell us where we should buy our oil and where we should not buy our oil, this is an India. This is an India which will do what is in the interest of its citizens, its consumers. But it's also, that's not the only situation. We sometimes are also told, we had joined a group called Quad. अब कुछ लोगों को बुरा लगा, अब लगा तो लगा. We had done some years ago, in 2007, also Quad had come. But at that time, the countries involved in it, they bent to pressure and gave up. This time we are very clear. If Quad is in global interest, it is good for the world, it is good for all of us. We will do whatever is necessary. So it is not just one issue. This is today a different India which will take positions which will be determined by Indian national interest, and that is very much, you can actually see that in the personality of Prime Minister Modi. But this is also a caring India, and particularly for Indians abroad, for Indians in a country like Uganda. You must appreciate this. This is an India which is producing vaccines for itself, but we will say that aapko bhi zarurat hai, I am prepared to share whatever I have with you. This is an India which is willing in any other area. I mean, we had recently an earthquake in Turkey and Syria. Aapko yaad hoga. Within one day, on Prime Minister's instruction, we were able to send out a disaster relief team. Our military, our professionals were able to open a hospital there in Aleppo for Syria, which, many countries actually did not even look at their problems. We actually sent medicines in large quantities. So this is an India which today cares for the world, which is prepared to put its capabilities. It could be earthquake in Nepal, it could be what happened in Turkey, it could be Mozambique में कुछ दिन पहले, कुछ सालों पहले एक cyclone हुआ था. So this is an India which is there for the world, and that is also something the world needs. This is also an India of ideas. अगर आप पिछले सालों में देखें तो big ideas. आप सोलर एनर्जी, अब वी ऑल वरी अबाउट ग्रीन, क्लाइमेट चेंज हो रहा है, क्लाइमेट चेंज के लिए अच्छा सोल्यूशन बताइए. आप जानते हैं वन पार्ट ऑफ द सोल्यूशन इज रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी. द बिगेस्ट चैंपियन ऑफ सोलर एनर्जी टुडे इन द वर्ल्ड इज एक्चुअली India, because we are the leaders of something called the International Solar Alliance, which was an idea of Narendra Modi during the Paris COP. But I give you a much more immediate example. आप सब लोग मिलेट्स जानते हैं ना, रागी, ज्वार. bajra. Now, because of Prime Minister Modi, we got 2023 declared as International Year of Millets. And you have to, I was today in Jinja, and I saw that they had a dish made of ragi, which was very, very similar to what you get in Karnataka. So, why am I mentioning that? Because there is today a food shortage in the world. There is a food shortage in the world, and it cannot be met by increased production of wheat and rice very quickly because they take a lot of water. So again, do think this is a Prime Minister who is thinking of India, he is thinking very practically, he is thinking of the world, he is thinking of the future, he is thinking of the environment. So he is feeding also, but he is caring for the environment also. That is really the India that the world sees. It also sees an India of talent. It sees an India of people like all of you. And today, as Foreign Minister, I can tell you, when I go to Europe, when I go to other developed countries, a lot of these countries today are interested, how do I get Indian talent, Indian skill to come to our countries? And what we tell them is, yes, it is possible, provided they get the right treatment, provided you treat them the same as you treat the nationals, you give them the same level of salary, you look after the social security payments. So the talent and skills of India today is also being recognized. But most of all, it is the India, the Bharat, the civilization that the world is today recognizing and respecting. It may have started with the International Day of Yoga, but in the last 9 years, people can see today that this is an India that believes in its history, its culture, its heritage, which is proud of itself, which is not trying to imitate the West, which is once again, as we did many centuries ago, reclaim our place in the world. That is the India that the world sees. And the world sees that partly because one of our unique qualities, one of our unique assets, I would say, is actually the Indian community abroad. Because when finally, even my experience here, I will tell you, from the President, from every minister I met, from everybody I talk to in this country, when they think of India, they think of an Indian. They see a face, they remember an experience. It is you people who shape what the world thinks of India. So, I want to tell you, in conclusion, that people sometimes say that, after Narendra Modi became Prime Minister, the government of India has started to give more respect, more recognition, more attention to the Indian community. Maybe it is true, but I want to say that it is an attention, it is a respect, it is a recognition that was long overdue. If if people today talk about the rise of India, a large part of it is actually the hard work done by our community abroad, by our diaspora. So at the end of my remarks, I want to tell all of you, on behalf of your motherland, a very, very big thank you.